men go crazy without respect. And then woman goes crazy without love. Okay? And so guys treat girls without love, then she goes crazy and she's going to disrespect you. And then that cycle just keeps continuing on and on and on. And so divorces can happen, fights can happen, conflicts can happen. Instead, we say, how do we better show love to women, and how do women better show respect to men? Again, all humans need both love and respect, but we said the primary language for women is love, and the primary language is respect for men. So once again, I tell you guys all of this. You don't have to necessarily agree with the gender thing if you don't think the whole gender thing is correct, whatever. You can still love and respect people better, regardless. And the second thing is you don't have to be married or dating. You can still show love to your coworkers, your bosses, your parents. You can better respect people, regardless. All right, we're going to go to our last one, which is she wants you to honor and cherish her. We finally come to our final letter for the COUPLE, couple acronym, esteem. Scripture speaks of how a man should esteem and cherish his beloved. How beautiful and how delightful you are, my love, with all your charms. A husband is to be the one who cherishes his wife, according to Ephesians 5.
Wait. God has made women so that they want to be esteemed, honored, and respected. The way to honor your wife as well as to honor your covenant with God is to treasure her. When I say your wife wants to honor, respect, it is a different kind of honor from what you seek as a man. For her, respect is a part of love. Probably the only time that you'll ever hear her say, "You don't respect me," is when you dismiss her opinion. Actually, her exact words might be, I know you don't love me because you don't even respect me."
Okay, so this is basically coming back in full circle and basically saying that women need honor and respect as well. But their definition of honor and respect is a little bit different. Okay, so basically for men, we receive love in a respectful in a respect word. But women, when we respect them, they feel more loved. Does that make sense? But when women want to, so basically it's basically saying the same thing about we need to love them, we need to love women better, but in a way where we respect them as well. But it translates into love. Whereas when woman loves us, it should translate to men as respect. Okay? It's a little confusing, but okay, let's continue on. Minu?
Your wife wants to know that you have her on your mind and heart first and foremost. This is what I mean by esteem. When it's there, your wife will feel treasured as if she's the most loved woman on earth.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about here. Is that when we dismiss, like, you're dumb or things like that, then she feels disrespected. But because she feels disrespected, she feels like she's not loved. Does that make sense? Okay, that's basically what the author is trying to say. So esteem just means we need to lift her up and say, you are the most beautiful, most wonderful woman in the world. That's what they want to hear. Let's continue on.
On many occasions while our children were grown up, Sarah would get discouraged with her mothering role. When the kids got into trouble or caused trouble, she felt inadequate, and that flowed into self-depreciation. When she would say, I feel like such a failure, she wanted reassurance that I believed in her and the course she was taking in her role as a mother. Most men tend to tie self-image into work, whereas women tend to tie their self-worth into whom she is in the family.
Okay. Do you guys remember how we talked about how men take criticism difficult, especially when it comes to like money and work, right? Because it's all about like protection, it's all about like achievement and these kind of things. So it's kind of the opposite side for women now. For women, when it comes to family, when it comes to well-being with their children, like that's their baby. And if you criticize, or if they feel like they're not doing very well and you're not listening to them, or you criticize what they're doing, then they take it very, very difficult. Just as if I came up to you and said, "Oh, you're a horrible worker," or "Oh, you only make this much money? Oh, you must be worthless." That's very deflating for men. And so for women, he's talking about how when it comes to home and the mothering, this kind of thing, it's a very sensitive topic. Let's continue.
Use symbols to show your wife esteem. You will never be able to show her the amount of emotional openness and esteem that she really wants. No man could. But symbolic things can be a great deal to bridge the gap between itself. I am talking particularly about anniversaries and birthdays. Women could create for anniversaries.
Okay, so the author is suggesting one of the good ways to actually show esteem is to use symbols, because a lot of guys are not very articulate with their words, emotions, things like that. Okay, which is fine because we have other strength, but a lot of the men's strength is not like being totally romantic in the sense that the way woman wants the romance. So instead, one of the best ways is by using symbols. Okay, remembering their important days and giving flowers and being mindful of them, showing not necessarily with words, but with symbols that you think that they are important. Continuing on.
For your wife, there are no more important dates than your wedding anniversary and her birthday, as well as the birthday of others in the family. All of these dates are opportunities for you to show her that you love and esteem her by remembering them and celebrating them with her.
Okay.
The expense of a gift is
Genesis, can you close the door?
To the thought your wife senses you put into the gift, art, or activity. God designed your wife to be touched by things that symbolize your love and show that you treasure her. She wants to know you think about her. She wants that to come from your heart without any prompting. Truly, it is a thought that counts.
Okay, so for her, it's not really necessarily. It could be the expense and all that stuff, but the more important thing is you thought about her, and you gifted her, and so that's important for her. All right, what do you guys think? Do you guys agree with everything that this talked about? Can you guys give some examples? Go for it with your groups.
I generally agree, but have an alternate view.
Okay.
Talking with hired somebody on the team,
Yeah.
he actually met his wife. He's going to one of the in Preston with church, that huge church.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of new at it, but I guess
So his wife, he met it,
like examples
the woman
of like
he married
symbols
was
to
working
show
at
your
the
wife
time. He met her through a friend. He went to Oklahoma Baptist University. And he was how many things church, because my wife did the Campbell Athlete games there. I said, how many people can fit in there? He said, I think.
No, that's like I don't go to
A person
I don't
would.
know how to
Yeah.
swim, but like that.
But he goes, they make all the money, Easter, like all the tithing, like their whole, like, he's like, a lot of the financial success of that church is around like these two.
Well, you gotta get practice.
Wow.
Because that's when they fill full, they go like full stack, like,
Sure.
sell out.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like,
Sounds like
this makes sense to
you got
use
the
symbols,
proper
but it's
recipe.
like, you do the same with God, like around, I use symbols like Christmas and Easter to show her and remember.
Sure.
And it's like, it's the same thing, that's why, so you should still, all that work, like, is meaningful, you should still try to do everything.
Oh, no. It doesn't.
That makes
If
sense.
you
No.
mess up,
That makes
you mess
sense.
up.
Yeah.
I
But
just
I
agree.
agree.
Yeah.
You're completely
Yeah.
your fault.
One of my actually thought about this recently.
Yeah.
We were talking about something, but she goes like, oh yeah, my mom still has a
You
picture
can find it, but
of me and her.
but it's rare. Yeah.
Even as a guy, she goes like, that year is like the year you made me, I made her a carrot cake.
I'm like, I wasn't really thinking about it, but yeah, I was
Cake that has been like.
Who doesn't, right?
I just feel kind of like things like compared to all the things that we did, she goes like, that was the most thoughtful.
They're kind of cheesy.
And a little kitchen, this is probably
Yeah,
10 years ago.
but they like that though. You gotta cater to your.
One of my ex-girlfriend's mom.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
okay.
You made cake for her mom. For
For my ex-girlfriend.
your ex-girlfriend. Okay.
And the mom
It
kept
isn't-
the
it's
picture
a big
because
thing. You
she
just
felt that that was so
remember.
meaningful. Yeah,
they're
that's a
bad
But
good
they both like kept it. I was like, oh. It was like nobody's ever baked anything or like made something like that.
Well, then that makes it
It's like I feel like I'm
Kind
dead.
of tailored it out.
Oh,
If you like carrot cake,
like
and
an
some
hour.
sugar, and
Right,
you know, if you like it dry, if you like it moist, and that one's actually tailored down to the taste.
No, I actually have heard the songs.
And she feels, the mother feels, no other partner male has done that for her.
Well, she got a piece of the cake too, and they're both the same one, and that's how it's like, oh,
And
man.
like it says,
Yeah, could you use this from? I was like, oh, I made it.
Are you guys good at this?
I don't think my wife, I think I'm okay at it. I think the anniversary birthday thing was
Like
good
for our-
as male.
That's kind of
in terms of,
for our
both
first
kind of flop.
like you
anniversary,
can
like
put
the
dates in your head, but
last week, I made her
I don't think that my wife demands
like a
this.
slideshow with
Mm.
like pictures from.
If I was to like act like she was my
Like
treasure,
I was
then
like,
she'd be like,
for her, that was.
It's like, this is too much.
But,
So I agree with
but,
this.
but I think it's,
I think that's, I think 500 is.
I think it's important. Like I think these lessons over the last couple weeks have helped me reshape my perception. And I've been talking about it with her.
Mm.
So I have a funny story. Last night we were sitting together, and we had an amp house, so she had the pest control company come out to like address it, and they were trying to like cross-sell her on mouse traps. And she's like, she never calls me the boss. Like I don't run the show in the house. And, but I don't know who it was this, but she's like, I told Massey Pest Control like I couldn't have had to consult with the boss first.
Mm.
And my ear perked up. And I was like, oh great, I'm being left in charge of making decisions on mouse traps
Wow.
when we have no mice anywhere near it. Thank you for stowing out this great topic.
Wow. That's funny.
But she's never done that. My ear was like,
I know. Wow.
He's like Steven.
Do you think you're pretty good with
Have,
this?
like a push and pull too as a man. That's what the girl wants.
Like with
That's
the
what
thought that
girls
counts.
like. Guys
Yeah,
who
like
are good
are you
or
good
smart
at
about push and
remembering anniversary, birthdays,
pull. Oh my God.
giving gifts?
Girls don't like that too.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a
yeah.
turn off. For some
What
girls.
those guys-
Can you elaborate?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, is that something you worked on, or just you're pretty good at it?
I just remember.
Okay.
The only problem I came across
Do
was
that properly and manage that properly.
sometimes the things that I do is not what you want or expect.
I'm like an open book. I'm just like
Curious to marriage.
I'm like
My thought is really kind of what killed it. So
Sure.
usually it's like, what's the thought that counts? Why didn't you make dinner reservations there? So why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? So it'd be like, so like, I guess things that the majority would do. So I would remember it. I remember flowers. I remember everything that went with it. You know? And
But for her, it was not
for
enough.
her, it was
Mm.
They want you to be a man, but they want control too.
For me, I grew up kind of.
Weird, man.
My parents are not really big with
It's like a game, dude. I don't like
like birthdays and stuff.
Yeah. But she's like,
And also SDAs. Until more recently, we've been pretty conservative about like holidays, because holidays tend to like focus a lot on like self more than God. Like especially Christmas, you
That's
know.
what I'm saying. Like the act of going to church is about yourself.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like I'm ringing the bell. I'm
Right,
shouting,
right,
"Look at
right,
me."
right.
You're like,
Exactly. And so,
cool, just back out. And then
but one of the things like I remember, so in Korea we have a thing called Kids Day on May 5th. So it's like a specific day where kids get like gifts. And so I remember one day I was like to my dad, I was like, it's Kids Day today. How come I don't get a gift? And then my dad was like, every day is Kids Day. You know? I think he said that to like tell me you're not getting a gift. But he instilled in me this idea that rather than like specific dates, you should try to like be good to them or be nice to them. Like even on random dates. You know what I mean? So I try to do that. I'm not actually like the best at like anniversary or like birthdays, like creating something big, but I try to like even like small days or random days, I try to like get her flower or things like that. And I feel like she appreciates it. You know, it's kind of unexpected kind of a thing. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But definitely, yeah, it's like something about, for me, it's not like this kind of thing, it's not a big deal at all. I could see that for Grace, like she really treasures it. Like, it's like a big thing for her.
So I bought like a bunch of little figures
I mean, if you're really
We think
efficient,
that way.
tag on 3 days, and bam.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Super efficient.
No, for sure.
One thing, so-
Yeah, I do something. It's just that I don't
Pick them up and pick them up.
like. You know, some people like go like extravagant. For me, it's just like let's go eat together.
Look at the ground and fix them.
Yeah, it would really
Yeah, and so he picked
I
them
don't know
up,
if
and
you
then
all
at the end he had like
like
this,
your,
I forgot what number, but at the end was he finished
whatever,
like
like
the
they want something big,
Yeah.
or like something.
Like it doesn't have to be.
I've dated girls like that in the past. It's almost like,
Like, that's what about receiving gifts though, because you have that like excitement.
she just made a reservation for her birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
So not just you
I didn't
two.
even do it. She was like, I made a reservation for my birthday. Yeah, we're kind of like, we don't make a big deal out of anything.
Okay.
No value.
And for her, she
We never buy each other.
does she not like surprises? Is that why she selected her restaurant?
No, because I think we both just enjoy being together, like marking the dates and celebrating, but it's not like, oh, you have to serve me on that day and make it a special day for me. It's my day. It's more like we're partners. Kind of like you said, like every day we just like, we're really
I see. It's like I want to enjoy this together as a family. That's more important
yeah, it's
than.
not about like which restaurant did my husband like. I know some like friends like to buy their wife jewelry.
It's nicely, you have a nice,
This is a
Well,
thing.
there's practice
Yeah.
here and there. I mean,
I think it's cultural too, like how you were raised, what like culturally you grew up with, which drives a lot of your expectations.
So I
of
get
how
my
your life
notification.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
like this princess
Yeah.
story.
Because in the like 11 Hispanic community, it's very, if you remember it, and then like having maybe simple barbecue outside, that's really nice. It's like,
Was your former wife Hispanic?
no,
Yeah, same with the lettuce, I'm just like.
You said she grew up kind of rich, right?
she grew up, like, it was an extremity, so she grew up with her mom first, and her mom, she experienced poverty, as soon as she moved in.
Just for your, cover your
I left her
Money was just
It was like, oh,
everywhere.
I heard
So
the
I
word.
think it kind of shaped that,
I
shaped
left
it.
her outside.
And then you say this is what I expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like, I think, you guys find truth in this, like men end up with women who are similar to their mothers.
But like as soon as I wake up.
That's
Like,
what I
you never
heard,
see it,
yeah.
but, like,
Because I had left like.
I'm not like my wife's father, but we are alike in a lot of certain things. Even though we have nothing like, there's no connectivity.
Sure.
And she's a little bit like my mother.
Mm.
Oh, no, as things manifest themselves.
Yeah, everything,
But
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
case,
yeah.
but maybe good kids.
Interesting.
You know, you didn't make your kids, but cut
A
down.
person would be like, hey, I'm gonna come on over and buy burgers.
But I never thought about like.
The guy with my wife is because I lived in New York City at the time, I had gotten out of a long career with my mom, which is thankfully like with the woman I should have never
I
met.
don't know the market.
Thankfully. And but I actually after just kind of like hanging out for a year, dating around, I wrote in a notebook everything I wanted to be with her extensively.
Wow.
Like it's like at least 2 pages.
Wow.
And my wife like I was just she had
Really? Did you meet your wife knowing those things, or like later on you found out? Oh,
No. I met my wife through eHarmony.
yeah.
And so we met at eHarmony through eHarmony. And, so maybe it was eHarmony's quantitative. I think we talked about this.
think, yeah.
Behavioral data.
I see. I see.
But at that time, I had like put energy into the world. This is like if I could have the ideal woman, this would be.
I see. I see.
Man,
Well, a little bit out there.
All right, let's come back. Let's come back. All right, this is the last one for men. Sexuality, right? Very important, right, Jason? Right, Jason? That's all him? All right. Appreciate his desire for sexual intimacy. Whose turn? Is it Belen?
We'll start with Jason.
All right, Jason, if you could read this for us.
This one couple did not have a happy marriage. They were on a crazy circle, and it centered on the wife's ultimatum, which she had laid down several years before. She would not respond to him sexually until he met her emotional needs. She wanted emotional release. She wanted him to talk to her face to face. After all, that's what life was all about, wasn't it?
Love, not life. Okay, do you guys see what she's saying? She's saying, you're not meeting my emotional need. Okay? How can we have sex if we're not emotionally connected? Okay, that's very important for a woman. Okay, that you have that emotional connection first. Okay? And so she said to the husband, I will not have sex with you until you meet my emotional needs. Sounds fair enough, right? All right, 정은?
Then, through a series of events, the Lord spoke to her and said, "Who is supposed to be the mature one here? He's a new believer, and you've been in Christ for many years." She decided to minister to her husband sexually, not because she particularly wanted to, but because she wanted to do it as unto Jesus Christ. She didn't have that need for sex. It wasn't within her, but she realized that this was her husband's need, and the Lord has spoken to her about meeting his need first.
Okay. So it's basically, okay, I know with sex, it's like there's like oppression and all that stuff, and that's fine. But if you think of it as, again, if your concept is, I'm only going to love them if they love me first, that concept in itself is not Christian. Okay, now insert sex in there instead of love. If I'm only going to have sex with somebody, right, only if they love me first. Okay, my wife or my husband. Then again, it's this idea of they need to do something for me, then I will give them sex. Okay, and that's what, for this woman, she felt like God was saying to her. Let's continue.
So she said, "All right, Lord, I will serve him and I will meet that need gladly." And she proceeded to do so. So what happened? Did her need for emotional release and talking face to face ever get met? She reported back to me, "When we lay there in bed afterward, I couldn't get him to shut up."
Okay, so it's this idea that I met his needs, and because of that, he actually opened up. Instead, my other way was, no, I'm going to wait until he meets my need first. Until then I'll give him his need. But she realized, oh, if I actually meet his needs first, then he's going to reciprocate. Let's keep going.
Someone once said, "Devil will do everything he can to bring two people together sexually before marriage, and he will do everything to keep them away from each other sexually after marriage."
Oh, very, very interesting, huh? So before marriage, Satan's like, have sex, have sex, have sex. But after marriage, it's like, don't have sex, don't have sex. Okay, because why? That strains the relationship.
He's like a female. I'm just kidding.
Richard's words, okay? Let's keep going.
Okay. Over the years, I've had dozens of couples come to me complaining that they weren't getting along. Often the answer to the problem lay in the fact that she wanted intimacy and affection without all sexual touching. Well, he wanted sex and was not being too patient with moments of affection only. Sex for him and affection for you is a two-way street. Just as he would minister to your spirit to have access to your body, so too you should minister to his body if you want to gain access to his spirit.
Yeah, so it's basically saying women, they need affection and intimacy. That's very important for them. But for men, not that intimacy and affection is not important for men, but for them, how they show it is in the physical sense first. All right? So again, these are contrasting views here. They both have different needs. And so if one side or the other side, they're saying, nope, I'm going to hold back until I get whatever I want, then again, that's what starts the crazy cycle. Instead, within marriage, there's times, again, you're not going to always get whatever you want. You're not going to always get your needs met. But again, it's this idea of, as Christians, we need to serve first. And then the results might not show for, right away either. But we continue to serve and serve and serve. Why? Because God has first loved us. God has first given us what we needed as well. Let's keep going.
A husband has a need for physical release through sexual intimacy. When a wife refuses, that symbolizes to him that she does not care about him and does not respect him and his need. The wife also needs to think about how unfair it is to say to her husband, "Have eyes only for me," and continually turn him down when he approaches her sexually. As a wife, you spell respect to your husband when you appreciate his sexual desire for you.
Right. So basically, men feels rejected. Okay, when you reject him sexually. Okay, they feel like, oh, I must be the dirty animal here. I must be the horn dog here. Okay, I must be the bad person. And sometimes females say things that seem to indicate that, like things like, you only want to have sex with me. Okay, so things like that. Again, it might be true, and that might be true. Okay, but again, things like that, this respects him very much. Okay, so again, it's this idea that both men and women need to realize we communicate differently. And so we need to understand women's side sexually, and we need to understand men's side sexually as well. Continuing on.
Wives, what if your husband didn't talk to you for 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months? You would think that abominable. Some wives want their emotional needs met after marriage, but somehow lose sight of their husband's sexual needs. He needs sexual release as you need emotional release. This is why he loves the act of sex in and of itself. It is a pleasurable act that brings him satisfaction. As a woman, you may feel that the two of you have to feel and be close in order to share sexually. For him, however, it is the reverse. The sexual act is what brings the two of you close.
Okay. So again, for women, it's once we're intertwined like this, then bodily I could be like together with him as well. But for men, it's a little opposite. It's we need to be close together physically first, then emotionally I could become more attached to you. Okay? So that's why again this is very, very important for men. And sex is important for men. All right. What do you guys think? Go together. Do you think this is true? Go back to your groups. Go for it. Let's split. Okay. Jason, why don't you come over here and join us? Here, Jason, come over here. All right, go back to your groups. What do you think?
Oh, right here. Okay.
And then there'll be 4 of us over here.
Nice.
I don't get it.
Sometimes I'll be like, I don't want to have sex because I have a headache.
Oh, I see.
For what? I'm good to go.
You're gonna do that before PM.
Even before. What do you guys think? Anything you resonated with, or
This ties back to that whole thing where the courtship, right? Men talk and connect and connect.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then once they're together and he's achieved his conquest, then he pulls back and
Yeah.
he's just present.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what's going on? So this is almost like tied to that.
And can you tie it? What do you mean?
Meaning that like you still have to be emotionally connected to your wife. So like it's like you said, like pre-marriage, you're emotionally connected.
Yeah.
So then
But for them, it's
that desire is there. Like her desire is there. There's a feeling like I'm ready for intimacy.
I see.
Right? And then post that, the man's not emotionally connected, so her desire for intimacy. But actually, it should be stronger then, because now you're actually married.
Right.
But it actually.
But the men like pulls away.
Yeah, it's like the way that we're wired. It brings it apart when
Yeah.
it should.
I would agree
Yeah.
if
But
like
that
if it
goes
was
back to
more
making the
important
effort
because like
even more when you're
to
married.
me that's a very like
That makes sense.
it's a very
The status quo would be to have that happen.
So like
Right.
how come I don't feel
Very ditto.
but
Ditto?
the
Yeah.
point is,
No other
if
thoughts?
I demonstrate to my
I have no thoughts.
What?
Not married.
then knowing that that's how
So no thoughts?
The lesson is when you do get married, stay emotionally invested.
I don't know. I mean, like, in my prior relationships, I wanted that emotional connection too. Sometimes you would want that more than, intimacy. I don't know. I mean, so I don't think it's exclusive to women or guys. I mean, but I agree in general. Guys,
Yeah, this is-
guys
this
are
is
much
general.
more.
Because you
Yeah.
didn't cross the chasm of like achieving your conquest of marriage. So you don't know what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, I don't know that. I don't know. It's a black box right now.
But
Yeah.
but you might be a great husband. That would be like an indicator for the woman that if emotional connection is important, that should be something she values.
Mhm.
You can achieve it.
and that will
You should
cause her
highlight
to
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not gonna be like, you'll be like, hey, are you? I'm sorry.
It's funny. I heard that every great song was written by men. Every like romantic song, the greatest romantic songs were written after sex. There's a saying like that. There's a saying, and it's this idea that like similar to what we talked about right here. It's like the sexual acts brings two of you together, and that's what men feel. And so it's like now it's like I could express like how close I feel with you and how much I love you, and I'll cross the ocean for you and these kind of things. So it's very interesting that men become a lot more expressive with their love after like they actually have sex.
They've tapped into that energy.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you finally gave me what I needed, and because of that, it's like, oh, I feel so close to you, and I love you in this. So it's very interesting.
I think it's the same.
I think it makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And then for women, is it the opposite?
It would be opposite. They want to hear all of these things. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or they write all of these
The love
things.
songs
Yeah.
In the desire for the men to show them.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe perhaps. Yeah. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Girls take a long time to open up to like guys, you know. It takes them so long, and for me, like I see them, I like them, that's it. But you know, but
I see them.
yeah,
I see them.
yeah.
And I'm intrigued by them. I'm
But
sexually
girls,
attracted to them.
it takes them so long to like open up themselves emotionally to you. It's just like it's crazy and like
Because
yeah.
you're gonna short circuit that. You were to like damage that. But you could be like, I'm not interested in you, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going home. Like,
Yeah.
go back to the hospital.
Yeah.
But then it's like, if they open up and then you
Yeah.
damage them, it affects everything. So then,
It's weird. It's just like, you know, I don't know. Sometimes that's why like I gotta really like them to like put that kind of investment, you know, because I know it takes them a long time, you know, like to just open up like that. So it's like for me, it's really hard to you know, pursue someone and you know put that effort so that they open up to me if I don't like them, you know. I don't know.
So it would end up being.
the last bullet is also the entire circle. One, because the act, according to this, the act of sex in general would be a show of respect for the man, and then he's willing to like
Love.
love.
That's it. Yeah.
And then what is it? And then, but for the woman, for her to get to that point, she's
Yeah.
already feeling love.
Yeah.
So then she just wants to be.
Yeah.
Like, be.
Yes.
And he wants to like now.
Yeah.
He's all in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't thought about this so much.
Yeah. Yeah. That it perfectly describes that cycle. Yeah.
Like respect, and I'm like interesting. I don't know. Maybe it applies to certain guys. You know, maybe like the guys on the like you know alpha male spectrum. Maybe they're like, oh, I need respect. You know, but I don't know if that's necessarily true for every guy. You know.
You don't think you need your primary language is respect, rather than
I
love?
think with other guys, like definitely, like I need my you know guy friends to respect me for me to respect them. But for like. For a lot of females, I don't really feel that way. Like, you know, I don't know if I feel like I need respect from
Yeah.
my female partner.
So if they say, I love you, Jason, but I don't really respect you, you're
Okay,
with
well
that?
that's different. Yeah.
Your wife says that to you? Your wife says, you know, honey, like I really care about you, but the things that you're, like the opinions you're telling me, I think it's totally wrong.
Okay, I guess I didn't think about it's a specific scenario you guys are talking about, and I didn't really get that. But it's I guess when you're in a relationship and you're like fighting and living the day to day, that's what you're kind of talking about, aren't you?
I think, I mean, all human beings need love and respect.
Yeah.
But then this book is talking about how men, like, there's specific things that men, it's like we need to hear. And those are all related to respect.
I think this
Yeah.
topic is more for married men.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't really understand this. You know?
Yeah, but it's a roadmap. It's like a roadmap.
Yeah.
It's like it's showing.
Yeah. I'm like, you're talking about respect and all this. I'm like,
I think
okay,
it's
what
like you should be.
Yeah.
Like if you're displeased in a relationship, I don't know, something just to have your antennas up.
Yeah.
It's like something that would impact you. Like if you feel like you were in like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, maybe that was really like my respect. And I should be like
Yeah.
last night, Ellie was upset about a bunch of things related to her brother. So she came into my bedroom and just talk.
And I'm not
And after like 20 minutes, I was like, oh my god. Just thinking about this.
But you're thinking about this, yeah.
She just wants to, oh my god.
Yeah.
So I just sat in my chair and I
I've only ever made it once.
Yeah.
versus spreading would have
This
been
guy
like,
makes.
Bro.
haven't done it enough.
he's more like definitely seeing children. Like,
Yeah.
He's more like explosive. Like,
Yeah.
He gets upset. It's like,
I knew you were
like
eyeing.
she's more like he just goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. He kind of just releases it, and he's over it.
She wants almost like you have to like let her wear herself.
Yeah, yeah.
And, like, talk her
Yeah.
over.
Well, he wants
It was so textbook.
Textbook this.
Love and respect.
Yeah, I think once you read it more,
Yeah,
or I think,
I got
I mean,
experience this
yeah,
to know,
definitely,
understand
you know,
this.
some of it is generalized, and some of it you might not resonate with as much. But
Yeah.
all right, let's come back together. All right, so like I told you guys, this is our last one. Okay, so we're gonna do review. Okay, so again, the acronym. Okay, so guys, this is the acronym that you need to realize. Couple. Okay, so again, this highlights once again. Easy way to remember is for women. This idea of being a couple, that's very important for women. Okay, so again, men. Okay, remember this. Okay, the first one. Closeness. She wants to be close. That means face to face. She wants not a shoulder to shoulder like men, like dudes. She wants face to face. Second thing, she wants you to open up to her. Okay? Guys are really, really good at this when you're dating, but terrible at this once you get married. Okay? So again, huh? Because you got her. I think there's a lot of elements, but I think that's one. Second thing is like, you know, like you emotionally already invested a lot into the dating process, and you're like, I shared everything. It's like kind of like, okay, like I shared a lot already.
Yeah.
Now let's live in peace, kind of a thing. Yeah.
This is girls' own fault, you know. They play themselves too hard to get, so you burned yourself out by the time you do. I'm done.
Yeah. Great example of what not to say. Okay. All right. Next one. Understanding. Don't fix her. Okay, guys. Don't fix her. Remember, she just wants to be heard. Okay. So one of the best questions to ask is what? Do you guys remember the best question to ask when she starts talking?
Do you want me to solve it, or do you just want to be heard?
Yes. Very
What?
good. Okay. Do you want me to solve? Do you want me to give you advice, or do you just want me to hear you out? Okay.
I don't know.
And then
I feel like
sometimes.
I feel like those are fighting words sometimes.
No. But no. You say it in a very nice,
Oh,
in a
in a
loving
nice
way.
way.
Yeah.
The way I said it.
What'd you say?
No. Say it in a loving way. All right, next one, peacemaking. She wants you to say, I'm sorry. Okay. Next one, she needs to know you're committed. So reassurance, words of reassurance, symbolism of reassurance is very, very important for her. Okay? So, guys, couple, remember this. Okay? You want respect from your girlfriend or your girls in your life, then these are the things you need to do. All right,
That's
next.
a lot of work.
Okay, let's before we go into the guys, let's go back really closely to the groups once again. Which one is really difficult for you, for guys? And then for the ladies, which one do you feel like guys have a hard time doing? And then which one do you want to see more in your lives? Okay, so go back to your groups. Go for it.
There gonna be a guy equivalent.
Yeah, there's a guy one too. Yeah.
Chairs.
Yeah.
I think for me, the closer the being face to face, which now I'm making an effort to do, because I would come from work and just like sit there.
Yeah.
And, like, okay, like maybe I'm reading like something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like I think it's a new like for a guy.
It is. It really is.
To
Yeah.
make sure I'm like present in this moment.
Right. Yeah.
Or makes it
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so tell us which one you have a hard time, not the easy one. Yeah.
Possibly the understanding.
Understanding.
Yeah.
Can you tell?
Usually I'm like
always problem solving. Like it's kind of just what I've been doing. So in terms of like learning to listen and not fix anything, it's still something I work on.
Yeah, nice. And it's like really important that you have this fixed mentality at your work, right? Because if you're just like there to listen and not fix anything,
Yeah, then
you get fired real quick.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't get fired. I would struggle.
Yeah. What do you think? Which one is?
I don't know.
You're good at all of them, huh?
No, I'm just like I don't have that, deep, long-term committed relationship experience. My relationship.
How about with your mom?
Oh.
He's like, oh.
Should be a reflection.
Because this doesn't have to be just romantic relationship either. Just like appreciating women in your life more,
Wow, that's hard. Then half of them I'm not good at.
Which is important because they say that how you treat your mom or the type of relationship you have with your mom, most likely when you get married and settled and it's going to be very similar.
Maybe.
I don't know about that much, but closeness.
Yeah.
Like face to face, having face to face conversation. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Your mother had and your wife struggle with.
Oh, everything.
That's why I can't do Korean. That's why I can't do Korean.
All right, let's go to our next one. All right, girls. Very important.
Yeah,
and then,
up, guys. Listen up, girls. Listen up.
And then the way to understand, it's this idea of like hierarchy and like authority and respect. Like king sits on a chair, so that's a good way to think of. Thank you. Okay, that's easy way to think. All right, conquest. Appreciate his desire to work and achieve. So it's this idea that when it comes to work and achievement, these are very, very important things for men. And so also this is a point where you have to be very sensitive towards men when it comes to work and achievement. So if you downplay something with work or achievement, then you basically totally rejected their respect. Next one, hierarchy. These words are they're not the best, but anyways, it's appreciate. Yeah, because hierarchy doesn't necessarily mean protect and provide. Anyways, appreciate his desire to protect and provide. Okay, that's very important for men. And so sometimes, they say like some girls, like wise women, they say, hey, even if you could open something, give it to the man and say, oh, like, can you open it for me? Things like that, okay? Why? Because they feel like, hey, like, I've done this for you, kind of a thing. Okay, look, I'm so strong, I could protect you. This kind of thing.
I open up the pickle jar, right?
Yeah. And then, or it's like if the guy can't open it, they're like, the other guys are like, come on. Okay, next one. Appreciate his desire to serve and lead. But remember, this is servant leadership. Man, you guys have to remember, this is not just about I'm the man here, I'm the leader here, God wanted me to be the head, you obey me. But remember, it's servant leadership, where you are the leader, yes, and yet God says you need to serve them. You need to be willing to die for them. Okay? So it's this idea of servant leadership. Next one, appreciate his desire to analyze and counsel. We talked about this already. Relationship. Remember, I know women, you like face-to-face, but men, how they like relationship is shoulder to shoulder. So obviously, in relationship, there should be face-to-face, but there should also be shoulder to shoulder as well. Okay. And the last one, appreciate his desire for sexual intimacy. Okay, so for the girls group, why don't you guys talk about which one is difficult for you, which one is, and then for the guys group, let's talk about which one you feel like you desire. I mean, all of this is important, but which one you're like, oh yeah, I really want this.
Question.
Yes.
What percentage do guys agree with this?
I feel like men in this group, 200%.
Like these chairs.
Yeah.
Dude, this is pretty cringe, dude. What? That's pretty cringe to me.
Cringe?
Yeah.
Okay. So 99%. Yeah.
Well, what happens to the other 110%?
Yeah. All right, so get together.
It's just like they're just fluffing us up, fluffing us up.
Which one do you think you appreciate the most?
Mine's easy.
Which one is yours?
Sexuality.
Sexuality.
Mhm. That's what I'm actually afraid of, honestly. Like, what if you get into a relationship and like you find out that she's not very like sexual person, you know? And well, that's the fear that everyone in outside the church has, right? That's why you gotta try it out.
I see. Like,
Vibe.
see if you're sexually
Yeah.
compatible.
Yeah,
and things
yeah.
Like, yeah, sure.
And for a long time, I was like worried about that too. Like, you know, what if you do it the Christian way and not have criminal sex, and you go and you're like, oh my God, this, you know, this is
Like,
hard.
this is
And
terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you divorce, you know. And I don't know. So it might change once I'm in marriage, but right now it feels like that's the part.
That's a big one.
Mhm.
No, for sure. Thanks for sharing that.
Don't go 100% with it.
In case you do marry a woman like that, then you get this book, you cut this chapter only, and then you give it to her. You know, read this, honey.
That would be hard. I don't know. I don't know how I would struggle with
Or you
that.
just leave it next to the bed.
Yeah. You know, but like some some like puritanical women, you know, they don't believe in, sex, and then I'm trying to convince them that it's blessing in marriage. I don't know. I've heard some horror stories, you know, where,
Well, I think maybe it's about you have to have that. You have to have the discussion of like, what is your perception and perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't necessarily, yeah.
That's a red flag, but it might collide with you.
Yeah. You don't necessarily have to have sex with her. You could talk about this topic with her even before. Sure. That's a good point.
Like, is she excited about getting married and
We can't
exploring
agree,
that part?
but in the end, he has to make a decision.
that's true. Yeah.
But then that's hard for me.
Like, what can,
That takes.
like, I feel because
That takes talking, yeah.
So, like, well, I mean, for you, it wasn't.
I have a better.
How about you guys?
So, in a way, I feel like that's what I struggle with the most.
Servant, leader, being able to lead and serve.
And it doesn't work.
Why is that so important for you in your life right now?
Because it leads to everything else, in terms of like, what you're gonna do, where you're gonna live,
Be more professional about it.
pretty much the lifestyle that you're gonna have. It's like being able to lead and direct into it.
And that's important for
That's
you.
important to me, yeah, because I think it encompasses like the rest of these things.
Do you feel like in your previous relationships that wasn't there? It was kind of like, no, you're under me, and you,
No, it was
or was it 50-50?
no, it was I'm gonna tell you my opinion, what I think, and then from there she told me whatever she wanted.
I see. Yeah.
Totally bad idea, like, don't do this, and she'd be like, oh, it's too late, I already signed for it. I'd be like, what?
I see.
Yeah, I think just observing Luis,